Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Easy Monday Motivations. I'm your host, E, along with my homeboy, CT, and our wonderful new guest, well, not guest, but wonderful new host, Johnny My Liege. I'm going to call her Johnny My Liege. I know it's drive her crazy. So let's take time and welcome our wonderful new co-host,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Woohoo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Yes, no, we're very happy to have you here. It's been a process working through this and trying to find the right fit for someone to kind of sit with us. Me and CT do our thing. We rock pretty strong, pretty hard, but you definitely are right there with us. You know, you are a queen of caliber, and we would not be setting up a wonderful regime if we did not have some queens in.
Well, I appreciate it, y'all. I mean, really, I could talk to y'all all day.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so hey, I'm game. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you. Let me check in with you, CT. How you doing today, brother?
Man, never better. You know what I'm saying? Got to hit the road again, about to be traveling. Matter of fact, your background looks a little bit different, so I'm interested to see where it is that you might be happening to be right now. But the weekend was solid. You know why it was really good?
Why's that?
OH. Yes, sir. Ohio against the world, said Coach Day. Ohio against the world. I know one of our producers may not be feeling this part of the program, but the Buckeyes pulled it off. It was a fantastic weekend. Family was good. Had some good food. Hung out with some friends and watched that Buckeyes game. And yeah, had a little heart palpitations, but we got through it. Yeah. Where you at, man?
Oh well, you know, I am in the big city. I am in the Big Apple. I am in New York. You can catch me right now, just east. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit east. You know, Midtown. Hanging out. I'm here for work, but you know, there's a little pleasure in this. So I would not be able to enjoy myself out if I did not take the time to pass out that Easy Monday motivation.
Yes, sir.
So, let me go ahead and check on with you, Johnny. How are you doing? How was your weekend? I know you're so excited to be here, but like,
okay, so they try to play me. No, I am really excited. And let me just say again, y'all, thank y'all so much for inviting me. I am just really happy to be here. My weekend, y'all, yeah, got to give you the heart. This weekend, you know, my kids are at that age now where our whole lives revolve around their activities. And this weekend, we had absolutely nothing. Like we woke up Saturday and said, we don't have to be anywhere. So I just enjoyed my weekend. I enjoyed my house. I actually got to sit in. There was a time that I was here by myself all day and I could watch a movie. I just really hung out by myself.
Nope.
It was lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Setting you up. Get comfortable. Don't get comfortable.
Hey, don't get comfortable.
Yeah, this weekend it'll be all upside down. So.
I know. Right, exactly.
So no, that's really cool. I definitely know you can enjoy it. Did you have any Terramana while you was there? You know, I turned you on to the Terramana. So hold up, did she freeze up on me?
She froze up because clearly you is about to ask her a question that she wasn't supposed to
answer. She don't want to answer that one. She's like, we ain't doing that.
Well, listen, while we wait, like every week we do something that is really important because I think the people always want to know. And I know you traveling, but are the fish alive or are they dead? Like, because last week we had an intervention come in because you did something on the internet and you went and you mixed tiger and fish together because you said you had a tiger fish and then they didn't make it. So I'm just curious. How's the tank?
My tank is still undergoing some changes right now. I can clearly tell that the ecosystem has become a little bit volatile. So, you know, I did end up having to, you know, remove a few more fish from my tank. Mm-hmm. But I have learned that I am okay with it because it's a natural progression. You know, I didn't realize like I had these fish for like 3 years, right? So like, how long have they been in the thing? Like, okay, well, my fish is probably due for this, right? You know, lifespan, the fish don't last forever in a fish tank. And I just didn't think about that. But overall, the fish tank is on crystal clear. It's very pretty. The fish that are in there are happy. I fed them before I left. I even changed out a few things, set up the lighting for them so that they wouldn't have any while I was gone. But on another front, Lemmy Let me is going through right now. My lemon tree right now has lost quite a few leaves, but I'm hoping that it's, probably just something because it's the weather change. There's a little bit of that, and I'm not overwatering it or anything. So I have to regulate Lemmy to see what's going on with him. He still has new growth, but he's lost a lot of his original leaves from his stem. But his stem is getting thicker, so I don't know. I'm a little bit everywhere. But my weekend overall was off the chain. I had a wonderful Friday. Saturday was great. Then I flew out on Sunday. Got to spend time with my family here in New York. I'm here for offsite, so I got to see some sights and do some things. And then I start my Monday with y'all. So here it is.
There it is. That's what's up.
Forget, Johnny, I know you've been with us on a couple episodes, but while we may be here on a Monday, every day
is Friday. That's right.
I'm with that.
That's it.
I'm with that.
All right. So Johnny, I wanted to throw something to you. Now, one of the things we're gonna play around with is some of the national holidays or national days that come around. And today was an interesting national day because it's National Family Day and National Daughter Day. Yes. And with you being the lady of the group, we want to kind of hear from you or how you feel about National Daughter Day and National Family Day.
Oh my goodness. You know what? When I saw that it was National Daughters Day and National Family Day. So I have two daughters. Okay. So first of all, I have two daughters. They are 16 and 12. So for parents out there, we are in the thick of it over here at the Easterling House. Okay. We are in the thick of it. But being a mother of daughters is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It's the most sacred relationship, complicated at times. But those are my girls, right? Those are my girls. And it's crazy because they're in this age now where they're not just these little babies anymore. They are becoming people, real people, outside of just me. It is crazy because I gave birth to them. They grew inside of me and now they have their own opinions. But they are becoming the women that my husband and I are raising them to be. And that is an amazing, amazing thing to say. And then another thing too, before we even continue this conversation about daughters, one thing I have to say is that I can't leave out all of the women out there who are mothering, but who have not had biological daughters or biological children, because I was listening to a podcast this weekend and they brought up this interesting thing of the mothering energy, right? And so there are plenty of women out there that have chosen not to have children or have issues with fertility, whatever that issue may be. Yeah. But they're still giving that mothering energy, right? They're mothering in the verb sense of the word. And so we just want them to know that we see you, we hear you, we appreciate you. And we definitely couldn't do this thing without you. They're in our communities, in our churches, the whole nine. And so we absolutely need you to help us raise these girls. That's for sure.
She came ready. She came ready with this.
This is the reason why she on here, because she ain't no game. Yeah, she ain't no game. All right. Okay. All right. So today's topic is a very fun topic, right? We're gonna play around with something that I think we deal with all the time and everybody deals with. So today's topic is problem solving. Okay, problem solving. I want to lay a little foundation for our conversation. Okay. All right. So I know I froze, but it's okay. I know I can tell I freeze now. All right.
You handled it well. You handled it well.
I know, like a pro. If I know I froze, just try to remember where I was and go back. Okay. So I want to kind of lay some foundation when we talk about problem solving. Now, problem solving in itself is the act of identifying an issue, concern, break, gap, something, and saying, I'm going to apply some sort of solution to it. And that's just a simple way of looking at it. But when we think of problem solving, problems can be very complex. There are simple problems and there are some extremely complex problems that even to this day just naturally can't be solved. What I would like to talk to you both about, because you both are very experienced with problem solving in your personal life as well as your professional life, is how do we first identify that there's a problem? Second, how do we surround ourselves with the right people, tools, resources in order to best position ourselves to solve that problem. And last but not least, how do we not let the problem be bigger than the solution? Because there's a lot of times that people will make the problem so much bigger than it really is. Therefore, when you come in and you're like, I mean, you just put that right there. They're looking at you like, I can't be that simple, I can't be that simple. Well, you've blown it up. Like, you created that mountain in that molehill. So, yeah, my simple solution ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna come to you first, Johnny Malige, and I want to get, I want to hear what you're thinking on, again, problem solving. Like, where do we start? How do you identify you have a problem? How do you surround yourself with resources and everything? How do you not let the problem be bigger than the solution?
Yeah, for sure. I love those questions. Oh, I love those questions, because when I first think about problem solving, what's the problem, right? And let's get to the root of the issue, of what the real issue is. And more times than not, like you said, it's less complicated than what we're making it out to be. It's so much less complicated because, so say for instance, I'm putting together an event. And it's coming down to the wire. People haven't sent me the information they need to send me so I can get this event going and all the things. And I'm mad because I can't get the email, and then the email shuts down, and all the things that are happening. And it's not because the folks aren't sending me the information. It's probably because I didn't manage my time well, right? And so going forward, maybe I should start a little earlier. Maybe I should manage this a little bit better and give myself a grace period so that I'm not meeting these deadlines, right? So that's just an example. But more times than not, we are making the problem much bigger than it is. And let's simplify it by just taking it back to the root of it. And on the flip side of that, sometimes that problem starts with our own insecurities. It comes from us.
Right? Yes.
Maybe our shortcomings, if you will, or our own insecurities. Maybe I feel threatened by your success. Maybe there's a little, I'm upset because I don't have control of the situation. Right. So anytime I think about it, when I knew that this was the topic and I started thinking about certain problems that I have, is usually because there's something that I can draw back to that I'm holding on. I'm holding on to a certain expectation, or I want to be able to control the situation. And that's where the problems are coming from. Right. So starting with that root and yourself, and then continuing on from there.
Nice. No, I definitely agree with that. And then once you continue on and you've now realized that it's not, there's a viable solution. Like, how do you secure yourself around the resources and things to really solve for it? Like, do you have a pool of people? Do you have a network? Like, how do you?
Yeah, two of y'all on this call right now. Yeah, I have a network, all right. And Eric Williams. For sure.
Snug your source.
Very true.
But seriously though, right? I think it's really important. I mean, we probably could have thrown any topic out here. My answers would have been to have a strong community around you.
True.
Right. Have a strong community, have relationships with people that that you can trust, who's going to tell you the truth, not just tell you what you want to hear, and people who are going to show up for you when you need them to. Right. Agreed. And I think that's a huge part of that problem solving, making sure but it also has to be in place before those problems arise. Now, every now and again, you may have to make those quick calls, people you never spoke to before. But I think it's important to have those relationships in place beforehand so that if you need to pull on those people, they're there for you.
So let me say it like this, like the idea here, right, is I want the community around me because what I identify as a problem, they might not.
True.
And as long as I've got people in my circle, in my sphere of influence, who have different lived experiences that then allow me to provide the situation and circumstance to them for them to say, that's actually not as big of a problem as you think it is. Or here is a solution you may want to consider because of what I have experienced or gone through. I always used to tell our kids, you can ask us anything. We have the answer to everything. Why? Because if I didn't specifically know it, I could always go to somebody that was in my circle, because somebody somewhere, even if my friend's name was Google, had an answer to a question.
Right.
Now, when our kids were growing up, Google wasn't, but I digress. So like when we start thinking about like the spirit even of this conversation we've consistently had, we start with this idea from the first episode that every day is Friday.
Every day.
The context that we have around Friday sets us up differently. So maybe it's possible if we thought about the word or the concept of problem differently, maybe it wouldn't carry as much weight, or we wouldn't see it as complex as we think it might be. If
Agreed.
the thing that's in front of me is an obstacle keeping me from going where I need to go, I've got to be able to recognize I have the tools, the resources to ensure I can either get around it, I can get over it, or I need to knock that joint over, which is why I need my community to say, wait a minute, it's complex because you only have a spoon and you need a hammer.
That's right.
Like you could still use that spoon, but it's going to take you longer and it's not going to be as impactful. So having the right tools in your toolkit can help ensure that the thing you're solving for is less of a problem for you, because you've got the tools, resources, and people necessary to help you accomplish what you need to get past that thing called problem.
That's right. And let me add this too, real quick. Another part to all of that is that the emotions that we are attaching to whatever that problem may be. Right. So we know that when there's something happening in our environment, there's a problem going on, our emotions are heightened, right? Our emotions are heightened and we get stuck in that part of the brain that we can only feel those emotions at that time. So it's really important to have those people around you that can come to you and help you get to that rational part of the brain and say, wait a minute, you're overthinking this. This is really the real issue, and you're just you're operating in that emotional state and you're not thinking logically.
Yeah, what Deion say? Last couple of weeks, not last week, it got their butt whipped. But the first couple of weeks, he said it's personal, right? Some of this is like it's personal, Johnny. Like what you talking about is this is personal. This problem, it's personal. I'm holding on to something. I've attached myself to something that's created a narrative that the story I'm telling myself in my head. That's a problem. Well, you said it earlier, but let me say it differently. Maybe the problem is you.
Yeah.
Until you address you, maybe that problem won't go away.
Yeah.
Should I put on the crickets one so we don't get too much, anyway, go ahead.
No, you know what? You're right, though. No, you're right. So a lot of times we got to deal with the root cause, and root cause may be you, maybe your perception. What I'm going to do real quick is go to the chats and just see what's going on. Siobhan, yes, my lemon tree is indoors. I'm glad to see that you have a lemon tree as well. Maybe I'll come and steal yours. It's Friday, and we always love it. Every day is Friday. Yes, ma'am. Middle teen, preteen. I'm praying for your strength. Yes, mama. Yes, we are everybody's strength when it comes to kids.
Yes.
This is gonna be good. I feel it in my spirit. I feel it in my spirit too. Go for it. All right, we in there. And CT, that was good. I'm definitely loving it. All right. Are we looking at it's important to have different wisdom perspectives. That is true. Very true. Yeah. So and which is why we have the conversation we're having today, right? It's because we all have very different, but in some instances, similar perspectives, because we're like-minded people. But so now I'm going to take problems and I'm going to bust them open, right? So I'm about to take a pinata to it. I'm about to make it real crazy, and then we're going to go there. Like, problems ain't always bad, and sometimes problems don't need to be solved. Sometimes problems are exactly the consequences and the outcomes of the actions that you took. Okay. So while problem solving is great in the essence of I want to deal with something, sometimes the problem is the solution. The problem was what you worked towards. So you got a problem that you can't solve because you worked really hard to create unsolvable problems. And it's true. People do it. Like, come on now. We know how people are. I can only speak for myself. I constantly make problems for myself. I'm good at it, right? I'm really good at creating my ooh-wee moments. Those ooh-wee, like, ooh-wee, I shouldn't have did that.
I thought you was going with the R&B ooh-wee, but I'm with you. I got you. Yeah.
Not that one just yet. But but in that one song like that, ooh wee, yeah, yeah, I know I done messed up a lot. So, but I say that to say, like, you understanding yourself. It is about you understanding yourself, recognizing where you have fault, to do the work, to identify root cause, understand the network and the tools and the people that you need around, so that way you can implement the solution. But you gotta work hard to not create the problem too. You can't go around here creating the problem and then taking the credit for providing solutions, because we have to do that too. I think that is probably the most asinine aspect of problem solving, right? I had to bring that part up. Where it's like, hold up. Somebody comes in. I know y'all that dealt with this too many times, but somebody come in like, yeah, I fixed that thing. You like, but you broke it. Like, why are you talking about the problem that you fixed that you created? So
you know my best problems. I keep telling people, y'all don't want these problems, but I want these problems because I keep choosing these problems. You know the problems? You know the problem?
What problem?
I got married and we had kids. Don't everybody want those problems. Don't everybody want those problems. And every day I wake up knowing there's going to possibly be a problem.
Yes.
And I choose that problem. Like that problem has both a benefit to my life and it causes stress in my life. So some of y'all not made for that problem, but others of us, because it's National Family Day, I wanted to add that in there. I got a family. And sometimes y'all don't want the problems that come across the house. Oh, Jesus. But then I'm also grateful that that problem, again, how we redefine this stuff, like words matter, but my family isn't a problem, but they can cause me problems at times. And that's when I find my greatest growth, my greatest connection. That's when me and God get even closer. Like to be clear, some of the greatest problems that I have draw me closer to him or put me in a place where I have to settle myself down and be like, okay, I need to get myself together because I got some place to go. And I'm praying when I get there. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Not everybody.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you 100%.
To the extent that, like, when you're talking about those problems we have in our lives, some of them are the choices that we made. I'm going to tell you this one right here. I got some bills that I ain't gonna ask God to fix because I created them myself. Like I'm not asking like need to be provided because I bought that thing. I ain't asked nobody. I just bought that joint, right? So to the extent like the problems we end up with at times is because of the choices that we made, to your point, and we gotta own that. Wait a minute, it's not a problem. It was a choice I made, and I'm okay with the choice that I made because all the things that come with it can be both good and opportunities for growth. I don't know about you, Johnny.
Absolutely, it's an opportunity for growth. And it's crazy you talked about bills because literally today, that's what I was doing. I looked at the list and I said, okay, God, I did this to myself. I did this. What am I gonna do? I can't do anything but strategize and figure it out so I can solve this problem. But to your point, it's helping me to grow, right? And so now I can do better the next time. When it comes to those impulse buying situations, I mean, it's I have a couple carts right now going on with clothes that I just will not hit submit because it says, Johnny, you need to wait. You need to wait until you can pay some of these other things down, right? But I think that's just that's a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but that's just life in general. It doesn't have to be financial, right? The thing is that you have to learn from those problems. Even if you put yourself in those situations, how can I grow? How can I learn and move on from this and be able to help the next person?
Right. And that's the biggest benefit, being able to help the next person. With that in mind, we gotta do our piece because we gotta help the next person. And the person that helps us help the next person is grandma. So we gotta go to know, what would grandma do? So CTM,
I'm so glad you asked. Like every week when we get the opportunity to break bread together, we have this segment called What Would Grandma Do? And when I was growing up, my grandma, this beautiful 97-year-old wisdom-filled, grace-filled woman, used to send us letters, cards, notes, and she would use acronyms. And so when we start thinking about this idea of problem solving, I'd love to have us think about it in this way. Sometimes the problems that we have in our lives can't be solved if we're not present. And the word I'd like to use today is problem, but I'd like to use it in the context of understanding what it means to be present. So if I have a problem I have to solve, I have to make sure that I'm not stuck in my past. That's the P. When I'm stuck in my past, then it makes it really, really difficult to truly understand and appreciate what moment I am in right now. And just like Luther Vandross used to say, we need you to be here and now. The R in problem is when I'm present with a problem in front of me, I've got to make sure I don't get stuck in my past because I've given myself permission to release the weight of what that problem is, the heaviness that comes from the results of me having that problem in my life. And if my past is too heavy, it makes it very difficult for me to be present. That's the R. Now, when I think about the O in problem, when I'm present, I got to know that if I get out of my past, because I've released my problem, I've got to make sure I get out my own way. Y'all know that, sometimes I am my own problem. And if I'm not present in that moment, I can get in my own way. And if I'm in my own way, that means I haven't set up the best boundaries. That's RP. If I don't have clear boundaries, I could allow others to set expectations of me that I can't achieve. And so I've got to ensure that if I'm not going to be in my past, I've got to make sure I'm releasing things. I'm getting out of my own way because I've set the right kind of boundaries. Guess what? You know what I see in my present?
What would you say?
The little things.
Okay.
The little things. I remember one time I was taking walks and I remember I would always look down when I was walking. So I would never be able to see what was in front of me. And I had this really amazing thing happen to me. I started walking one time and I looked up and I saw the leaves in the tree. I looked up and I saw not the cracks in the ground, but I saw the birds flying in the air. When you look up when you're walking, you give yourself the ability to make sure you see the little things. And when you see the little things, because you've gotten out of your own way, because you released the heaviness of the past that you have, you know what you do? You can now expect. You can expect more of yourself and more of others. When I can expect more out of myself and others, it allows me to do, and let me get to the M because this one's the one I love the most. I get to make things happen. And when problems are in my way, there are obstacles that make me seem like I can't achieve the thing that I need to. But when I make things happen because I've got the right kind of expectations that are set up, because the little things I get to see now because my boundaries are clear, because I've gotten out of my own way, because I've released my past, man, a problem just ain't a problem no more. Thanks, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me run that down. Let's not be stuck in our past.
Come on.
We have to release the heaviness that comes with the problem.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on. Hold on.
We got to get out of our own way with our old.
See, you done feeling New York is coming in. Come on.
Oh my God. We got to set them clear boundaries and know when they've been crossed with our beat. We got to we can't be hung up on them little things. Little things got to be little things. That's our L. And then we can expect more from ourselves and others because now we have done the work with our E, and then we're going to make things happen with our M. You know what? I love making things happen. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and make this happen because we problem solved today. That's what we just did.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
We just solve. You know what? I don't know about a problem that we couldn't solve with what we have discussed today. I don't care what it is, where it is, who it is. All problems out of the way.
They out the way.
Problems get out of the way. So with that, what I'm going to do is go into our final thoughts, and I'm going to come to you first, CT, and let you have your final thoughts. Then we're going to let Johnny have hers, and we're going to wrap it up.
Listen, I grew up in the church, and in the church vernacular, we used to say, take your problems to the Lord and everything is going to be all right. Because his yoke is easy and his burden is light. And to the extent that when we start thinking about the two words that have been in this conversation today, problem or solve, I'd love for us to live in the solve because the problem isn't big because we are in something easier, something lighter because of him.
That's right. All right. Thank you, CT.
I love it. Oh, I'm just enjoying that myself. Final thoughts here. Problem solving. First thing, we have to get to that root of the problem. And I hate to tell y'all this, but most of the time, the root of the problem is going to be you. Most of the time, right? If you're really taking something on, that problem is you. But that's okay. We can figure it out, y'all. Okay, you can figure it out. Figure out what the real issue is and then work from there, because I guarantee it's not as difficult as you think.
Yeah.
And if you have faith, as Christopher Thompson was just talking about, in a higher power, then let it go, right? And if you've got this amazing circle around you, talk to somebody who's going to talk you down and just say, hey, what are you talking about? You
Yes.
tripping. This is all on you. You're making this up in your head. Sometimes we have to let go of the expectations that we have. Maybe we're feeling threatened for something, whatever that issue may be. But I guarantee you, whatever those problems are, it's not as hard as it seems. You're still here. We're still breathing, and we're still able to make it right, to make things happen. So just remember that.
That's good.
All right. Okay. You know what? I don't really have any final thoughts because, my thoughts is never final. My thoughts is never final. They're always like potatoes. I'm always thinking. But what I would like to do is go ahead and thank you guys both for a wonderful episode. Thank you so much. It's our first episode with our new co-host, Johnny My Liege. All right, it's My Liege. Okay.
Eventually, you have to tell people why you say that. Why you call me that?
Why would anybody need to know why we call you Johnny My Liege? Do they know what My Liege means? Do they know what My Liege? And you just bow and call it a day. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's always wonderful to be able to, come together. Check out Easy Monday Motivations. Every Monday we will be here to give you our messages, no matter whether we're in town, out of town, on trips, on vacation. We're dedicated to making sure you get this message. On Tuesdays, please check out our Comfy Couch segment with my homegirl Siobhan. On Wednesday, you got Food Talks, the Foodcast with me and my homeboy Rome the Chef. Thursday, you got Just Clowning. On Friday, you got the podcast about, it's a new podcast. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but it is about some nerddom, and we get our nerd on in there. We talk about games, movies, different topics. I'm gonna let the nerddom speak for itself. I'll let my man Cam plug his stuff. When I get more familiar, I'll be better. And on Sunday, you always got the podcast about nothing. So this is the PAM Network, the podcast about nothing network, where we are bringing you content around the clock. Thank you so much for tuning. Social media platforms on Facebook. Way Past Cool. Nerdcast, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't get that right. All right, thank you.
Cool.
Way Past Cool. Okay, Way Past Cool Nerdcast. This is how we get in there.
I love that.
Yes, thank you. All right, so it's Way Past Cool. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Twitch, Twitter. No, we're not on. We're on Twitch, not Twitter yet. Facebook, YouTube, and pretty soon, we'll have most of our stuff on Spotify as well for you to be able to catch us there. So thank you so much. And everybody, have a good night. And don't forget, every day is Friday.
Every day is
Friday. Y'all.
So just chill.
Until the next episode.
Peace.